Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Dear friends, it's certainly hard to be the last speaker, since the previous speakers representing the Asia-Pacific region has already painted a very broad picture of the military and strategic situation which we observe in this dynamic and quite complex region, since it's a multi-confessional, multinational region. And certainly there are some problems the region is faced with. And in my remarks, I would like to focus on the issues that have not been raised so far. We realize that the positive dynamics of economic growth is maintained in the region. Regional and cross-border ties and relations are growing. But at the same time, solutions to old problems such as Korean Peninsula, territorial disputes in South Chinese Sea have not been resolved yet. And the nature of those problems is becoming more and more serious. And there is a cyclic reproduction of those issues. For instance, every year within the decades, and I've been researching Korea for 45 years, and I understand that every spring a situation deteriorates in Korea Peninsula, but this year it is unprecedented, and it is further aggravated by the deployment of U.S. ABM system elements on the Korea Peninsula, and it is also aggravated by North Korean attempts to upgrade their missile and nuclear weapons. Speaking of the THAAD system elements deployment, I think it is a destabilizing factor for the region, since radar systems of the THAAD can track targets in the territory of China and Russia. Territorial disputes in the South Chinese Sea remain to be quite serious problems, and they make the regional countries to build up their military budgets. And there are also some differences between U.S. and Chinese positions in interpreting the freedom of navigation or maritime routes. Singapore representative already told us that Asia-Pacific is not free from Islamic radicalism. There are countries with large Islamic populations. We all know that in the Middle East for about 2 years at least, and even more, a joint Indonesian and Malaysian battalion has been fighting that was set up by the ISIS recruiters. Altogether, it gives us a picture that is quite complex, and we still have some concern about the lack of the effective system to secure maritime routes and navigation, and disputes in the Chinese and South Chinese Seas is also quite obvious, and there are concerns that they may evolve into a full-scale conflict. And it's not about those rocks amid the ocean, but it's about the resources, hydrocarbons, various metals that can be extracted there. And those differences, they always complicate the situation in bilateral relations between Japan, China, Japan and Russia. And if we speak about the alliances and the alliances solidarity, then nuclear powers can very well be involved in those conflicts. Land borders between the states have long been demarked and fixed by international agreements, but maritime border boundaries are not that clear. and many of them are still disputed. And in this backdrop, we can see an arms race in naval armaments. At the same time, ground forces are also mounting. And the arms race that is triggered by the tensions mounting over the disputed territories lead to the lowering of the international security, and we can see a vicious circle there. On the one hand, there is a tension that remains over territorial disputes. Does not allow us to normalize the relations between the states. On the other hand, the boundaries issues cannot be resolved unless there is the mutual trust, confidence, and stability. And the military build-up is quite viewed in the region. According to the Stockholm Institute, military spendings in Asia-Pacific over the past years rose by 5 and 2.2%, compared with just 1% globally. And the security system in Asia-Pacific is still based on the foundation of the Cold War. It is based on the bilateral treaties between the United States and Japan, Philippines, Taiwan, and this format is known as the system of axes and spindles. The axis is the United States, and the spikes are the countries of the region. To strengthen their positions in East Asia, the United States is pursuing the policy aimed at enhancing the role of their strategic partners, such as Japan and South Korea. A strategic partnership with ally number one, that is Japan, is also becoming more and more significant. And it's based on the alliance treaty, and Japan slowly, gradually, but it erodes some provisions of the treaty under which Japan drops any claims to become a military power again. And Russia continuously turns up attention of all these stakeholders to the fact that it's only a multilateral effort that can bring about the stability and security in the region. We could think of the overlapping system of agreements and treaties that would oblige all other participants to fulfill their commitments. By the way, it may be one of the options for the resolution of the Korean conflict. And if we achieve that, smaller countries will feel more secure and no longer ask for the assistance of major powers. So multilateral approach will serve the prerequisite to reduce tensions based on the alliance affiliation. I would like to stress 2 points. Asia-Pacific is unique in the sense that there is a system of regional institutions that really works well, and non-governmental institutions play a great role there. It's the Cooperation on Security Issues Council and other institutions. Sometimes they are criticized for being not that efficient, but I think that the objective of those institutions is exactly to create the atmosphere and help politicians and military to address those serious challenges they are faced with. I should tell you that academic institutions as well as NGOs intend to be involved even stronger in the work of